The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everybody, welcome to today's webinar on OnBase Foundation. Just a couple of administrative notes before we get started. The audience will be muted throughout the presentation, but please feel free to send us any comments or questions via the chat during the presentation, and we will review them at the end. Please complete the survey at the conclusion of today's webinar. As always, we record each webinar for future reference, so if you find today's presentation helpful, you can visit the link listed here to watch it again or show your friends. Today's webinar is from the Naviant Customer Success Team. Presenting today is Chuck Hamby and myself, Brianna Overkamp. Here is the agenda for today's webinar. First, we will cover the new features of Foundation. Then we will talk about some of the enhancements made to existing functionality. Following that, we will mention some of the platform updates and updated compatibility. Finally, we will explain the new versioning strategy for OnBase. We're going to begin by describing the new products released with OnBase Foundation EP1.
So let's jump in. The first new product that we're going to cover today is Governance Rules as a Service, or GRaaS. Governance Rules as a Service is a new Hyland offering that combines a fully researched, web-accessible retention schedule with robust automation to apply those same retention rules directly to OnBase documents, providing a complete end-to-end retention solution. Included with the solution is a subscription to Iron Mountain Policy Center that provides the retention schedule, the Hyland Retention Connector, integrating the Policy Center with OnBase and document retention, providing automated management of the predefined retention schedules, and destruction of documents in accordance with this policy. The policies are researched and set by Iron Mountain Policy Center in accordance with your local and state government laws. GRaaS is a subscription-based licensing model with tiered pricing based on either the total number of documents in OnBase or the total number of document types configured for retention. So what does GRaaS bring to the table? First, it establishes a legally defensible retention schedule for OnBase documents that reflect the latest global laws and regulations aligned by industry and jurisdiction. It also enforces a consistent structured information governance policy for OnBase documents through automation. It can even help to eliminate the need to research regulations or hire costly legal firms to perform analysis and maintain compliance. GRaaS also minimizes legal risks associated with accumulation of expired records and keeping information longer than required. It reduces processing time and expense associated with manual deletion of unneeded documents. It also increases system efficiency through the automatic destruction of documents that no longer have value. Let's take a closer look at each of the components of the solution. Using Policy Center's intuitive web-based interface, records managers can view their organization's entire retention schedule by document type, including retention information, like the retention period and the trigger that will start the retention timer. This information is utilized by the Hyland Retention Connector to automatically configure the retention settings for the corresponding document type. As laws and regulations related to the retention change, this information is updated by Iron Mountain Policy Center, according to insight from an international network of law firms. From that very same interface, you can drill down further to see the specific legal citations backing the retention information, and click on specific citations to see the supporting text. From this web-based interface, an OnBase admin initiates the integration process by pulling an updated list of all record types and corresponding retention information from Policy Center. The retention connector then matches record types in Policy Center with document types in OnBase, and with a single click configures the document retention settings for each matched document type, saving admins the time and effort involved in individually configuring retention settings for hundreds or even thousands of document types in OnBase config. Retention settings for those document types whose retention period and trigger are defined by Policy Center are locked, and no changes can be made in OnBase config. Any retention settings must be changed in the Policy Center and pushed into OnBase via the retention connector. This is to ensure there is no conflict between Policy Center and OnBase, and that Policy Center remains the one source of truth for the retention policies. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about OnBase Video, which provides an elevated experience for managing and delivering multimedia content. A separate OnBase Video license is required to use this feature. Files are stored and managed in the Hyland cloud, and videos are automatically transcoded into multiple resolutions optimized for streaming. This eliminates the technical hurdles associated with storing and providing access to large multimedia files for a diverse set of users and devices. Audio and video is then streamed directly from the Hyland cloud to OnBase via the standard document viewer in both the Unity and web clients. While streaming, video quality will automatically adjust according to bandwidth, providing the best possible user experience. And because OnBase Video leverages the standard document viewer, you can treat videos like documents, allowing for cross-references between videos and documents, viewing videos in folders and file cabinets, routing videos via workflow, and exporting video files to ShareBase and more. Multimedia files can be uploaded to the Hyland cloud directly from both the web and Unity clients through the standard import dialog. DIP can also be used for bulk importing of files from a network directory. Once uploaded to the Hyland cloud, video files are automatically transcoded into resolutions and bit rates optimized for streaming. Both standard and high-def resolutions are offered. From the web and Unity clients, users can retrieve multimedia files using standard OnBase search methods. Videos then stream from the Hyland cloud directly in the standard OnBase document viewer. No additional software or downloads required, and the user experience is consistent between clients.
Now we will talk about some of the integrated AP solutions. Hyland has released several integrated AP solutions over the past year. The following solutions are available for integration with OnBase 18 and higher: Infor Lawson S3 and APIA, Microsoft Dynamics 365, SAP, JD Edwards, and Workday. There is also a flexible solution for any ERP. All of the integrated AP solutions leverage the same formula to capture and validate invoices, manage exceptions, and maintain a tight integration with the ERP for data exchange and document retrieval. The last new product is document packaging. This module had a limited release in OnBase 18, but is formally being released with Foundation EP1. What is document packaging? Document packaging provides the ability to merge multiple file formats into one PDF document. Automatic packet assembly can be triggered based on business logic, and it also provides an optional user interface for users to edit and interact with the documents before the packet is generated. Note that this module requires a document packets license. Let's take a look at document packet creation using a template. I am logged in with a user that has the document packets privilege. I have pre-configured a packet template that has the offer letter as its primary document. I'm going to search for the offer letter for employee 101. To create the packet, right-click on the document and select Generate Packet. I will select the template I would like to base the packet on and click OK. The packet content selection window opens. I can click on each of the documents to see the thumbnails on the pages. Depending on the setup of the template, users can customize what is included in the packet. These checkboxes allow me to include or exclude pages of a specific document. I would like to include all the pages of this document, so I'll make sure these boxes are checked. I can even reorder the pages of this document if I would like. I can view the keywords associated with the packet via the Keywords button in the ribbon. This template is set up to inherit specific keywords from the primary document, but I can change those values here if I wanted to. I'd like to keep these keywords, so I won't make any changes. Using the Add Documents button, I can add additional documents to the packet that were not included in the original template. I'm going to add this employee's background check. I find the document, select it, and click Add to Packet. This was the only document I wanted to add, so I will close out of this window. As you can see, the background check was added as the last document in the packet. I'm going to make one last change and put the application as the last document in the packet and select Preview Packet. Since I'm happy with the changes, this feature gives me the ability to double check my packet to make sure it meets my needs before actually generating the PDF and adding it into OnBase. I can see the table of contents that is a part of this template, my primary document, and all related documents. I'm going to scroll down to check some of the documents that were added. The pre-configured header and footer for this template appear on each page of my packet, as seen here. I'm going to scroll down a bit more to make sure everything looks good. Once I am happy with my packet, I'm going to close out of the preview and click Generate Packet. I configured a new document type called HR Application Forms Packet to store all of the generated packets from this template. My generated packet will open, and I can retrieve at any time using the document type and assign keywords. And here is my generated packet for Jane. One more thing I would like to show you is creating a packet without a template. Access to generate a packet without a template can be granted per user group. I'm going to search for the resume for employee 201. I will right-click on the document and select Generate Packet, but I will not select a template. Admins can set all non-template packets to include a table of contents, headers, and footers if desired. I configured my non-template packets to contain a table of contents, but other than that, only the resume is included, so I'm going to use Add Documents to include others. I'm going to select the offer letter for employee 201. Select the document and add it to my packet. I'll close out of this window, and then I can see that both the resume and the offer letter are now a part of the packet. As before, I can preview my packet to double check. I can see the table of contents I included lists all the documents that I added. I'm going to scroll down to check my documents. Each page contains a footer. I pre-configured this footer to be included in any non-template packet that's generated. Once I confirm it's correct, I will click Generate Packet. Since this is not tied to a template, I must choose the document type group and the document type to save the packet as. I will add the employee number and employee name and click Generate. Once this is complete, I will have a application forms packet for Bob.
Now we're going to cover some of the enhancements made to existing modules. What we cover in this section is just the tip of the iceberg, as Foundation EP1 has over 3,600 new enhancements. Let's start with the changes to the Unity client. Users are now able to use Repeat Notes mode, which allows them to place multiple notes without having to reselect the note type from the ribbon. This will save time and clicks when adding multiple notes to documents. Think of how we get a revision number of a document now. We have to go to the document's properties and view it from there. Foundation has changed that, allowing users to view a document results list and revision numbers in the same space. Revision numbers are now listed in square brackets before the name of the document, as shown here. A new user option has also been added, Disable Continuous Scrolling. This can be enabled so a document will not automatically scroll to the next page when a user reaches the bottom of the page. This will ensure that you don't have to find that sweet spot before the page transitions to view the content at the bottom of pages. Next up, Unity and image forms. Template management provides access to manage form revisions. From the Open Form template window, forms can be updated to match a specific revision, and deleted templates can be restored, allowing access to previous versions of a published form. Attachment controls have been updated in EP1 as well. Attachment types can be formatted as a single sortable list that the user can choose from, and multiple documents can now be attached at once with a control click. Users can also attach documents that are already in OnBase. This simplifies the view for users who previously had to execute a cross-reference to find the same information. Lastly, you can configure tab index order for all of the fields on your forms, allowing the designer to choose which box is next when tabbing through fields and making it more user-friendly. Now for some workflow updates. Administrators can now set a default document type and/or document type group for users performing the reindex using the reindex document action. They also have the option to inherit from the current document. This allows users the ability to reindex with less stress of choosing document types. Workflow queue history now lists timestamps down to the second, allowing users to see which action occurred before others within the same minute. This will aid in troubleshooting and tracking documents. This change is retroactive, so all documents that have been routed through workflow will have the expanded timestamps. Another change we wanted to highlight is the move of the distribution service to the Unity scheduler. This means that an email sending task will need to be created in order for notifications to be sent from workflow. Existing instances of the distribution service will need to be uninstalled as it is no longer needed. Next is WorkView. A new user option has been added that opens objects in the same window. This creates a breadcrumb-like trail to previously opened objects for easy access and navigation to previously opened objects. This option is available in the Unity and web clients. A new type of attribute is now available: encrypted alphanumeric attributes. These fields work the same as OnBase encrypted keywords and allow sensitive information such as credit card or social security numbers stored in a WorkView app to be encrypted when stored in the database. Finally, a new option is available to display data sets as radio buttons. Users will not have to expand a drop-down to see valid entries, making selection smoother and easier.
Next, we will cover some enhancements for Application Enabler. In OnBase 18, Hyland introduced smart screens to help with difficult-to-enable applications. Tag-based smart screens solve this problem by identifying fields differently. They anchor to a tag or label and trace a path to the target field instead of tracing from the root of the Windows info tree. This enables administrators to more easily enable these tricky screens. In Foundation EP1, tag-based smart screens now have improved performance, saving time for both the admin and the end user. Another enhancement is the ability to launch directly into a combined viewer from your line of business application. Lastly, AE now features a progress bar in a pop-up window when results are loading. This helps end users to know that Application Enabler is working by giving them a visual indication. Now let's talk about reporting dashboards. You can now convert report services reports to a data provider. Select individual or multiple reports from report services to convert into custom SQL data providers. The following display actions are now available in the web client: display document, display file cabinet, display workflow queue, display workview object, and display dashboard report. Web client users will no longer have to navigate away from a dashboard to review related content. Now we'll talk about document retention. If the retain keyword setting is in place, when attempting to retrieve a purged document, users will now see a certificate of destruction in place of an error message. The certificate lists information about the purged document, such as keywords and the date it was destroyed. Users given the proper rights will be able to see document retention properties, such as retention period and hold status, for a document via the Properties right-click menu option. Updates have been made to the Purge processor reporting. The report now lists the preparation time and the time it took to purge the document files, document keywords, and database records. Let's talk about agenda management. Users can now access workflow and reporting dashboards in the Agenda client. This prevents the clerk from having to leave the Agenda client to access these modules. Unity form fields can now be used as motion text tags within the Minutes client. This helps auto-populate the motion text when a motion is made so a clerk doesn't have to manually type it in as the meeting is happening. There is improved attendee management in Foundation. It now requires a user to assign members to a meeting body that they have created. Warning icons will appear when attendees have not been added and the meeting cannot be saved. This helps to guide users and prevent problems due to missing attendees. And there are a few other enhancements we would like to mention today. Within the Unity and web clients, folder tab location settings are now respected. In the web client, users can now create a folder pop link via the right-click menu and set folder dates when creating new folders. The Unity Document Imaging document preparation screen now allows users to select favorite document types and order them in the dropdown used to assign document types. There is a new integration for Lexmark MFP devices written and supported by Lexmark. This utilizes the application server for upload. Electronic Document Management, or EDM services, now allows for appending pages right on import. Document Knowledge Transfer can now provide users with retry messages indicating that they have the option to retry the compliance test and how many retries are still available. Admins can now generate CSV reports for document administration and user administration within the DKT admin layout within the Unity client.
We also want to make note of a few major changes to the Diagnostics console and service. First, the Foundation version of Diagnostics console is no longer backward compatible with versions of 18 and earlier, meaning that you will have to uninstall any older versions of Diagnostics console. This will likely not affect many users, but is worth keeping in mind. Upon initial installation of the Diagnostics console, it is set up to start in local mode. This means that it will only run on the server it is installed on. If you need to access the Diagnostics console from a different machine, the bind IP setting needs to be changed to allow users to view the console without being on the server. Configuring for remote access is now done via the appsettings.json file in the Hyland Services folder. Another major change is that there are no longer mail slots to enable. Instead, Hyland.logging must be enabled, which can be found in the .config files of the .NET-based applications, such as the application server and web server. Similar to mail slots, different profiles log certain information and must be included in the Include Profiles key to be seen in the messages within the Diagnostics console. In this example, the database, workflow, and file profiles have been turned on. You can also use the key Exclude Profiles to reverse the previous logic and log all profiles except the ones listed in the value.
Another change that we wanted to note is that the mobile broker has not been ported to Foundation EP1. An OnBase 18 application server and mobile broker will be required for users to access OnBase Mobile. Please note that this will not support new Unity form features as they require the new version of the database that is in EP1. A mobile plan for Foundation is currently being developed and will be released in a future version of Foundation.
Now to discuss some of the platform updates. There's a few exciting enhancements regarding Web Application Open Platform Interface, or WOPI. It essentially allows the ability to edit Office documents through Office Online. Previously, Hyland had the requirement for Office Online Server to be installed on-premise. But with EP1, they will now support Office.com, which incidentally is Microsoft's rebranding of Office 365. In addition, EP1 will have support for co-authoring, which allows multiple users to simultaneously edit the same document in a collaborative environment. These authoring capabilities and support for Office.com will start in limited availability for customers leveraging the insurance bundle or for those who are using the new pricing simplification model. Sometime post Q1 of 2020, Hyland is looking to open this to a broader audience. Here's an example of a Word document retrieved via the web client's standard retrieval. As you can see, the standard Microsoft toolbar is not available. Users can click the Edit in Browser button to open the document for editing in a new browser window. Here's that same Word document with multiple users editing the document. As you can see, Andrew and Colleen are both editing this document at the same time. Once the last user saves and closes the document, it will be unlocked in OnBase. Next, we'll talk about Hyland IdP, formerly known as OnBase IdP. So what is Hyland IdP? The Hyland Identity Provider is the first of a group of services in the Hyland Identity and Access Management offering to be released over the next year. It enables modern security standards-based authentication and authorization across all Hyland products. The release of the Hyland IdP with OnBase Foundation EP1 and the Hyland User Catalog in future quarters will enable a single source of identity, authorization, and authentication across all Hyland applications to enable the convergence of Hyland applications and capabilities. Any products using the OnBase IdP have been updated to use the Hyland IdP. Hyland IdP supports authentication for standard OnBase authentication, ADFS, CAS, and SAML2. If you're currently using Active Directory, you must configure Active Directory Federated Services to utilize Hyland IdP. Another note regarding Hyland IdP is that it is not currently supported by Oracle databases. The delayed release of the Oracle Data Provider has prevented support with Hyland IdP. Oracle customers can use OnBase modules as normal without IdP, and support for Oracle is expected to be added in an upcoming release.
Next, we will cover a couple updates to storage. Hyland has introduced the concept of S3 disk groups, allowing OnBase to store disk group data to any storage system that exposes S3 APIs. This is almost any cloud storage vendor or modern on-premise storage device. The disk group migrator now works file by file instead of by volume. You can move whole sets of documents to new disk groups without having to move the entire disk group. The migrator allows for the migration of standard and foreign disk groups to S3. You can also migrate unencrypted disk groups to encrypted disk groups, or vice versa. Here are some of the other platform updates that we wanted to highlight today. Database support has been expanded to include contained databases. The test system creation UI is now packaged with configuration and can be launched from the Utils menu. Additionally, profiles can be created, allowing users to save their settings. Within configuration, admins can now whitelist file types per user group to limit the types of files that can be uploaded by that group. In the export interface, exportable items have been grouped and can be sorted and filtered for a more timely import. There is also more visibility and control over items included, and the export package can be viewed and customized after initial import. All Studio exportable items are supported in the configuration interface in addition to the configuration items. Lastly, Active Directory Basic has been removed as an option for AD. If you would like to use Active Directory, you must migrate to AD Enhanced.
Now for some updates on general compatibility with Foundation EP1. Browser support still includes the newest version of Chrome, Edge, Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Safari. .NET Framework of version 4.72 or later is compatible, and support for Microsoft Azure databases has been added for Foundation as well. Please see the third-party compatibility list for more information.
The last topic we would like to cover is the versioning strategy for OnBase moving forward. With the release of Foundation, the versioning strategy has changed. Long-term releases, or LTRs, will address critical security fixes, task force issues, and critical bug fixes. LTRs are similar to the previous numbered OnBase releases. These are planned for release about once per year. Enhancement packs, known as EPs, are a series of releases leading up to the long-term release that contain bug fixes from the previous release, incremental enhancements, and new features. These are planned for release about 3 to 4 times per year, and they're cumulative, so EP3 will contain what is in EP1 and EP2, and so on. The version numbering has also changed. The first number refers to the year of release, the second number refers to the month of release, the third number is the patch level, which is incremented by 1 for each new public release within an EP or LTR build. The last number is an indicator for the type of release. So this version of OnBase was released in August of 2019, is patch level 5, and was a public release. With some of the remaining time, we will answer some of your questions. Please submit your questions via the chat. If we do not get to your question or do not have an answer offhand, we will take down your information and reach out via email with an answer. If you have any questions after the conclusion of the webinar, please reach out to support@naviant.com. We'll leave this slide up while we answer your questions. When your organization would like to upgrade to Foundation, please submit a software upgrade request. This form can be found on the Naviant website via the link listed here, or by navigating to the For Customers section found within the About menu on Naviant.com.
So the question that we have is, what is the best practice for taking the new release? Should we take the LTR or shoot for the shorter releases? Probably the best way to think about this would be the LTR is more like your numbered versions that we're currently using. So it's going to contain everything as an annual cumulative wrap-up. Each EP, the enhancement packs, those are going to contain the newest information. So if you wanted to update more frequently, you'll get newer enhancements and product as it comes out and it starts working through. So it's totally up to you and your organization to make that determination. So the next question we have is, when you create a package in OnBase, what happens to the original documents?
The documents remain in OnBase. They're just used to create the packet. So you'll be able to still navigate to the original documents.
Okay, the next question that we have is, are there workflow actions which can create packages? This is something that I don't know off the top of my head yet. This is something we'll have to do a little bit of looking, and Jerry, I'll take your information down with the question and we'll do some research and we'll get you an answer on that. Are there any other questions?
before we go today, we wanted to remind you about our customer portal, which can be used to create and update support tickets. The link to the portal can be found in the For Customers section of the Naviant website. You can fill out the ticket subject, description, and urgency. After we are notified of a new open ticket by the system, a member of the customer success team will be assigned to assist you. You can also place updates and attachments to existing tickets via the portal as well. Thank you for attending today's webinar. We look forward to seeing you next time.
And if you have any further questions, please direct those to support@navient.com.